The heat is on! Pretty dramatic, right? Well, it is dramatic, potentially life-saving for your pet. So I have 5 tips to help your pet stay healthy and happy all summer long. Stay active, that's a good thing for you and your dog, but be smart about it. Your dog's need for exercise and love of walks doesn't diminish just because it's hot outside. So think about it first. Go early in the morning or take your walk at dusk when it's not quite so hot outside. Here's something you might not think about. The asphalt and the concrete that our dogs walk on can get incredibly hot. So here's a little trick. Put your hand down for about 5 seconds or so. If it's too hot for you to leave your hand there for any more than 5 seconds, it might be too hot for your dog to walk on. Now, if you live in a place where the temperature, and it's been happening, exceeds over 100 degrees, you might want to think about further protection for your dog's paws. It can be a moisturizer made for dogs, or maybe even booties that can serve another purpose beside what people in northern climates would use these booties for. Here's another tip. Sometimes it's best to stay inside that air-conditioned home in the first place. So even if you have a backyard that's shady, there is some concern about leaving dogs out in the yard for too long, especially if it is over 85 degrees, especially if your dog or dogs are brachycephalic. Those are the dogs with pushed-in noses. They can have difficulty breathing just in general if it's over 70 degrees. So over 85 degrees can be a huge concern. Obese dogs, for puppies as well. Just don't leave dogs out in the heat too long. Tip number 3, stay hydrated. Always be sure that your pet has access to fresh water. Sometimes as you're about to run an errand with your dog, the best thing to do is run the errand without your dog. It should be obvious by now. I don't understand why it isn't, but I'm telling you, I report every year, this year included, about dogs happening all over the country being left in hot cars and ultimately dying of heat stroke. Inside a hot car, it becomes an oven, and it happens quickly. It can become a death trap for dogs. Don't leave your dog in a hot car. And finally, tip number 5, pay attention to your pet. Your pet will tell you, if you watch closely, boy, I'm getting too hot. So educate yourself on the signs of heat stroke in pets so you can tell when your pet is becoming overheated. An overheated dog might pant rapidly, very rapidly. I know dogs pant, it's what they do to cool themselves, but we're talking about panting a lot. Might have a bright red tongue, red or pale gums, thick or sticky saliva, seem depressed, may act dizzy, may act weak, show signs of fatigue, or vomit. A cat that is too hot might have a rapid pulse, rapid breathing as well, might even pant. A red tongue might vomit and seem lethargic, even stumble with a staggering gait. To demonstrate just how hot it gets inside a car and how quickly it happens, on a day where it was about 82 degrees, I sat inside a hot car. One window open a crack. I had my wife's fake fur coat on because after all, dogs are always wearing their fur coats. And boy, it did get hot fast. Watch the video. You won't believe what you see. You can see the video at stevedalepetworld.com. Don't leave your dog in a hot car and pay attention to your pets. They will tell you if you are paying attention when they are getting too hot. I'm Steve Dale.